Hello, in this particular class, I want to teach you about invoking functions. What is invoking function? It's to call a function. Yes, you will be writing your smart contract and making the code simple, putting them in chunks of functions, smaller, small, and each one performs a certain activity for you. Some of them returns value for you, some of them don't. They just perform a certain operation and then they are done. Okay, from our recent work, we were in this and we actually did get answer where a computation was carried out and then an answer was returned for us. That is actually like a pure function because it's not interacting with all the state variables or any other variable around our environment. It's only centered within everything inside the block of code, in this particular function. Now we want to be able to get get the root of a particular number, this answer. I want to pass it to invoke a function that I will pass the value of this answer into that function, and then it will multiply it by itself, like, if it is 3 that is passed in there, it will be 3 times 3. If it is 4, it will be 4 times 4, and then just return the square root of it for us. Is it the square root or the root of it? Yeah. So okay, so let's just get it done. All right, so we write function, we say get power. Let's just say get power, or get root, and let's receive an unsigned integer, and this one is going to call the ans, and it's going to be public, of course. And hold on, it's not going to be public, it's going to be internal because we don't want other people to have access to this. Note this thing, internal is a modifier or an access specifier, that shields it from being accessed outside, but it can only be interacted with internally. Hope you understand that, like, only the functions within this particular smart contract can have access and interact with this function, but I can't interact with it like when I deploy it. It will not show up there because it is only internal usage. And if also when another smart contract inherits it, this will also be made available for it. Okay, but if it is private, it only can be made available to this smart contract, and no other smart contract can inherit it either. It can only be used by that particular smart, but we don't want it to be private. We want it to be internal. That means it's only for internal purposes. Fantastic. So we say we want it to be pure as well. It doesn't interact with anything outside of the function. So you say returns what? Pure int. Please take note, pure functions are function that receives input from its parameters only, or they don't have input at all, but only performs an internal operation and returns a result. Okay, that is what a pure function does for you. So now I'm receiving an input from this parameter, and what I want to do is to perform an operation. I just want to return, of course, this answer, raised to the power of 2. Okay, so basically it's going to multiply it, 2 times. Like if I pass in 5 is the answer here. This is going to be 5, times 5. So the answer now will become what? 25. Okay, so just basic mathematics. All right. So now I just what I want to do is to store this result in a state variable. Now I cannot create a state variable here and call it let's call it scores. Okay, so uint still say score is equal to, okay, by default is nothing, and right here I don't want to return anything this time. I don't want it to be views. Okay, so it's not returning, just performing a simple operation. I want to invoke this function now to perform something for me here. So what we do is say score, this state variable here, score. I want to what? I want to call this get root, function, get root, and then passing this answer into it as a parameter, so it will go on and perform this operation and also return it, which I can then store it in this state variable, and then I can view it later. Hope you understand that. Let's compile this and you see that it's all good. And now we're going to deploy it on this network. Deploy. Okay, now we have this particular version. You see that this get root is not made available here because it is internal. It's only this one that I'm working with here. So when I click get answer, it's going to return, sorry, I think we made a mistake here. This should, okay, we're supposed to apply public here so that we'll be able to see this call. So that's why we're not seeing it. So let's click here, deploy this again. All right, and now you see the score is available. When you click score, it's 0. Please take note, state variables are private, or internal by default. So you have to specifically, tell that the compiler that this is public, so that it will list it out as a public state variable and it can be accessed publicly. So now when I get answer, boom, successfully, and then check it, see it's 9 now. Basically this 1 plus 2 is equal to what? 3. So the answer here 3. I pass it down here, it goes here, and 3 times what? 3 is equal to what? 9. That is why it's returning 9. So it returns it and stores it in this call variable, and that is how you get it. So this is how you basically invoke a function or call a function within another function. Even within the constructor, you can do all of this cool stuff with Solidity and smart contract creation. You need to know these basics so that you'll be able to do the big job when they start flowing. So if you got some values out of that teaching, hit this subscribe button, and I'm going to see you in the next class.